Welcome to the FiveStack. Zev just asked me, because we both said namaste at the same time before getting on namaste.
Namaste.
And he asked if I did yoga. And I said, no, I do Pilates. And then he's like, what's Pilates? And I have a hard time describing it, but the best way I can is yoga on a reformer and a whole bunch of really isolated moves. That's so fucking hard. By the end of it, I am a sweaty mess. It's like the weirdest thing. Plus, every class is 12. It's very quiet. You lay down almost the entire time, which I also like. It's my speed. It's low impact. And on top of it, Pilates is full of women, as opposed to being chock full of dudes. So
I've seen those
really
women. I've seen those women at the gym, and they stretch themselves into the most incredible positions. I'm very impressed by people who do that.
I'm quite impressed myself.
You know, I'd like to see you do it, actually. It'd be interesting to watch. I don't think it'd be as elegant as some of these fine...
I was a yard sale when I first started Pilates. But yeah, better and better. I'm learning how to do Pilates, but everybody needs to have something right now, right? Whether it's, you walk a lot, whether you do yoga, or you go to the gym. This world is now full of so much nervous energy. We'll get to some of that. Welcome to the FiveStack, everybody. Thanks for being here. Not only are we talking yoga and Pilates, we're talking about maybe one of the worst memes Donald Trump has put out. I don't know if you've noticed that. He put out one with him and the boys. They're all Grim Reapers and they're coming to kill America. So that happened last night. Also last night, we got another GRINDRGATE update. Mike
still
Johnson.
going on.
Oh, yeah. The guy that put out a really quiet meme and a video of him effectively saying it's still coming. Don't
Where
worry.
is it?
I don't know. I'm waiting for Mike Johnson's Grindr profile like you wouldn't fucking believe.
Yeah. I might have some pictures I can send you. So I don't want you to scoop this guy, but
really?
I got some. Yeah.
No. You don't stop there. You don't change the channel after you say something like that. What do you mean you might have some pictures?
This thing has been out there for a while on the internet. I mean, in the big wide World Wide Web. So there's a lot out there about Grindr and Mr. Johnson. And so this has been a story that's been floated for a while. And about 7 months ago, I did a story about this and then grabbed whatever was out there. I don't know if it's still out there, but there were photographs of Johnson looking kind of, seducingly, I guess.
Seductively?
And at whoever it was he was sending the pictures to describing his hair as being lovely and flowing or something like that. And then there's hot screenshots about it. So those screenshots have been around. And the person who put it out originally said, these are what they are. So, I have them somewhere in my system. I'm just going to pull them up for you.
Why? I don't know why you're not sharing them widely with everybody right now. It's the hottest topic outside of the government shutdown, outside of the Epstein file shutdown.
I like that you're doing it. I just don't believe in putting it out there myself. I mean, I support you if you want to do it, but
you already did it though. You already put in. Well, yeah, but you did that. You can't. And again, you can't do that. You can't tell me that I can't do it when you already did it. Like you can't. You can't. Well, I'm trying to chase this down. I want the Mike Johnson Grindr profile. I want the IP address. I'm updating people daily. And 7 months ago, you already did this, and I'm going, hey, do it again. And you're like, no, it's not me, but you already did it.
No, I did the story. I covered the story, but it's not for me to release the stuff. I mean, that's other people's things. I don't know.
Well, it's not for me to release it either. It's for me to retweet it or restack it or take it and put it in a post and say, look, that guy did it.
Exactly. Because otherwise, not only legally are you very, very culpable for whatever happens, but also it's just not a good idea to put yourself, in this particular case, I don't think it's the right thing to do. So,
do you remember when, we'll move on to the FiveStack in just a second, everybody, but just to that point, do you remember when, the convoy was happening here and they had this like $10 million donation list of crypto and $50 here, $1,000 there, Well, the guys at Anonymous, guys and girls, sent me the actual give, send, go list of all the people that made donations.
Mm-hmm.
So one night, it's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I'm like, fuck it. I'll put it on the website that I was operating at the time. See what happens. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You get a reaction.
1,400 death threats. I had police outside my house for weeks on end. I had
1,400.
1,400. Sebastian Gorka was one of the guys that slid into my DMs to tell me I was toast. That Sebastian Gorka, the guy that works for Donald Trump in the fucking White House. So
So that's a
I get what you're
qualification for the
saying,
White House, is
and
issuing death threats.
probably, and the Mike Johnson grinder stuff. I could imagine the heat the guy's going through right now. To your point,
I just to take us on a little bit of a tangent, and you sort of started the show with that. Everyone is really stressed out right now. It's not
yeah.
everyone. The tension is unbelievable, and I think it is a breaking point. I think that something quite significant is happening with the. I think the generals meeting the other day really turned people into very, very concerned territory. Like, I mean, we went from being, things are going badly to, oh shit, what is going on? And now the shutdown and all this other stuff that's happening alongside the shutdown, the furloughs, there might be terminations, the stuff around the Epstein files not being available to people is just growing everyone's tension, because it seems like things are happening that we can't control anymore, that are beyond the control of the typical American government, or at least the American institutions we used to have.
Yeah. Yeah, such a good point, and I go back to the original start of this conversation where we opened up the FiveStack with a couple of laughs and we made real brief mention of this psychotic meme that Donald Trump put out in the
Yeah.
middle of the
As the
night last
president of the
night.
United States.
Yeah, the president of the United States of America put out a meme, an AI generated meme of him, JD Vance, and Russell Vought, the Project 2025 guy, the OMB guy, the guy's in charge of America's budgets. It's fucking crazy. Who's a legitimate evangelical Christian fucking terrorist. And the video itself is these guys dressed up, playing a Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper. And it's Donald Trump dressed as the Reaper playing the cowbell. It's J.D. Vance dressed as the Reaper playing the drums. And Russell Vought as the actual Grim Reaper with a sickle or a scythe in his hand, going through government buildings, just murdering people.
Yeah.
And murdering the United States. And the illusion there is we're coming for you, fuck you. And not even in the undertones. They changed the words to it, called everybody cry babies. Here I'm coming. That was the fucking president of the United States. And keep in mind, at the same time, they've also authorized this thing called Freaky Friday, which is going on right now across the United States of America, where they're going after undocumented migrant children.
I saw that. Oh my gosh.
And the ICE facility, Broadview, Illinois ICE facility right now, they have snipers on the roofs pointing guns at protesters. They're beating protesters. They're gassing protesters, and they're doing the same thing in Portland, Oregon. And Portland, Oregon had nothing going on. There was nothing going on.
Nothing was happening there.
It's the sleepiest fucking state in America. And then on top of that, you've got Donald Trump threatening $18 billion in infrastructure money for New York, another $2.5 billion for Chicago, and now he's instructed Pam Bondi, and Caroline Levitt informed us this today. MAGA Barbie informed, she's so fucking stupid, it's crazy. Informed us today that they're going to now start looking at defunding Portland, Oregon. So you talk about stress. This man hasn't been seen in fucking public since Tuesday. You know what happened Tuesday. He slurred his way through a low-energy coup of the U.S. military. Now everybody's worried about psychosis. Nobody seems to know what's going on, but everybody's still pointing to the all-powerful Donald Trump, who's going to, quote, destroy America because Democrats shut down the government when they own every available branch of the fucking government, and they did it themselves. It is truly an unbelievable time in the United States of America. And I know I'm vamping, but let me throw some jobs numbers on there. They lost 3,000 jobs. They're supposed to get 54,000 jobs in the month of September. They lost 3,000 jobs. And now you've got hundreds of thousands of people who are going to lose their federal positions. America is headed for a depression. America is a police state. Donald Trump is a fucking fascist. And what he put out last night just made the world a whole bunch sicker.
Do you think that what he was doing last night was trolling the Democrats, or do you think that really what he's doing is giving permission for violence against liberals in general? I mean, I feel like yes, it was murdering the United States, but the intent of what Vote is doing is to go after liberal-minded people inside the administration, inside the executive.
Yeah, that's the goal.
But to use that as with a Grim Reaper image, and to have Vote, is that how you say? Walking around in that in with the Grim Reaper sickle and all that, it was kind of. It's haunting. It's frightening. As much as it is a troll, and it's true that Democrats are a little bit of it in disarray, but it is it is absolutely frightening that they're putting out imagery like that, from basically announcing the death of Democrats, the death of liberalism in America.
The death of dissent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I think there's a couple things going on here. I think number one, I truly do believe that he put that out because he's a sick, dangerous fuck who has every intention on killing as many people in the United States as humanly possible in as many ways as humanly possible. Number one. Number two, the dude hasn't been seen since Tuesday. And if there's one thing I know about Donald Trump is if he is out of circulation, he will pop up on the internet, on Truth Social, and he will make it as spectacularly fucking dangerous and stupid as humanly possible. Rumors are going around that he is after that meeting, that U.S. military drawdown that he tried to convince everybody was you got to get involved in the war on the American people. Is that he was so unwell, and you could physically see it, that he has been literally in treatment, medical treatment, since Tuesday, and has not been seen anywhere, and his calendar is completely empty as of the rest of the week and as of today. So your guess is as good as mine, but I think there are two things at play here. One is, how do you continually be part or at the top of the news cycle? So he puts out that dangerous bullshit on top of this racist sombrero meme he put out, done by AI, where Chuck Schumer, dubbed in by AI, was talking about how nobody likes the Democrats and da 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 da. He's as unhinged as he is unwell, physically, mentally, emotionally, and cognitively unwell.
we
And
haven't
now
had
you're
this.
starting to see people like JB Pritzker go, "Hey, this guy's a sick fuck," and it's not just because he's in his state hurting his people. He's a sick fuck because he's a sick fuck, and they're calling for the 25th Amendment. And you're starting to hear rumors in his cabinet because a bunch of people in the GOP who aren't quite as magnified but are living underneath the shadow of what he's doing know that he is destroying their opportunity to keep their jobs in 2026 as well.
Yeah, the 25th Amendment just gives us Vance, doesn't it? I don't think
Yeah,
that's
which
the
is
best.
worse.
Yeah, I
Right?
don't think it's a good solution at all. But it's certainly an indication of how concerning the situation is around Trump's mental state and also just his demeanor. He's been acting so awfully, and it's all leading into the number 5 story on the countdown today, which is the U.S. shutdown. The U.S. government shutdown has entered its third day with no clear path to resolution as partisan disputes continue in Congress. The Senate is expected to hold additional votes on funding measures, but none are likely to pass today, giving entrenched party positions. President Trump has used the shutdown as an opportunity to implement sweeping cuts to federal agencies, as we know, and that is the big story that everyone's talking about, is, are these cuts actually legal? I put up a post on narrative.org today, just explaining to people that what he's trying to do has no precedent at all.
Yeah.
This attempt to, have all these jobs expire and permanently eliminate hundreds of thousands of jobs is not legal by any stretch of the imagination. And yet, because we're so used to this administration being completely lawless, no one's even pointing out that fact. This is
Yeah.
a crime happening in broad daylight on TV news. And it's just people are saying, okay, well, that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's illegal, along with the Epstein files, which we'll get to later on. Another thing where you got a Democrat who should be sworn in, who should be serving her constituents, unable to do so she can pass the deciding vote on the discharge petition for the Epstein thing. There's just a lot of illegality happening here. And in my mind, it looks to me like a little bit of a conspiracy. And, this is not legal, of course, to have a conspiracy to steal hundreds of thousands of jobs from the American people, to defraud them of their government, to defraud them of their services that they're getting. But there's no path back from this. Once you've eliminated those jobs, it doesn't matter what the courts say later on because those jobs are gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it accomplishes a bunch, doesn't it? I called it in a post yesterday the Epstein files shutdown, because that's exactly what this is. You've got Adelita Grijalva sitting on the side, Democrat from Arizona, won in a landslide, waiting to be sworn in. She doesn't get sworn in. They don't have 218 signatures for the Epstein discharge. So that's point number one. Point number two, they have done everything they can to lie, like pathologically lie about why the Democrats have started this shutdown. Their excuse is because the Democrats want to carve out in the budget, which hasn't been passed. That's the reason that the government is shut down. You don't agree on a budget, everybody stops work. It's pretty simple. And so they're flat out lying. Say, well, Democrats want to fund illegal migrants and health care for illegal migrants, so that because we all know that illegal migrants will vote for Democrats. It's the only way they know how to win. It is a nuclear fucking lie that is being repeated by every single member of the Trump regime on fucking repeat. It is not true at all. They're trying to keep Medicaid for those that are currently insured who are about to lose their ACA. That's a fact. So we've got that going for us, right? So what does he do because of the embarrassment of a government shutdown? 2013, Donald Trump famously said, oh, if the government shuts down, the president should fucking be impeached and you should pull him out of office. He's in charge. Shutdown's his job. And now he's like, fuck, it's not mine. It's the Democrats. Well, let's just fucking examine that. They're lying about the reason Democrats won't pass the budget. Lying, lying, lying. And so, as a punitive measure, Donald Trump is going to cull the federal government of anybody who has ever voted for a Democrat. And I'm not kidding you when I tell you that. Everything that I have read, all the information that the GOP has on every single person in the United States government, which Palantir and Elon Musk handed to them after their sweeping Doge audit, they have the ability to go, that guy voted for a Democrat, he works in the Treasury, he's fired. That woman, that clerk that works for, I don't know, the Offices of Management Budget, she voted for a Democrat in 2007, 2008, she's fired. They are going to literally use this to just fire people that voted for the Democratic Party, supported the Democratic Party, or LGBTQ people. It doesn't matter who they are just going to fire everybody that doesn't fit the image of what they want to do to the United States, which is turn it into a dictatorial fascist regime. And they are already fucking there, my dude. They are
That is
already
such
there.
a good point, because when I did the numbers and crunched the numbers on how many women were being fired compared to how many women were in the government workforce, or how many people of color were being fired compared to what was in the workforce, the numbers are way higher. This is a blatantly racist, misogynistic culling of the workforce, of the American workforce, which is, of course, is exactly the opposite of the trend lines that we've been having in the past. There's been an effort, of course, to increase the number of
Representation.
people of color.
Yeah.
Of course, it makes sense. And so this reversal, or whatever it is they're doing, is just completely illegal in the face of it. We don't allow discrimination like this in our government. You're not allowed to do those kinds of things.
It's a pillar of the Trump regime.
They'll break a law for anything. They'll just break every law if they could.
It's the pillar of the Trump regime. It's like they're getting rid of every LGBTQ person in the Army, the Navy. They're getting rid of any woke anything. If you voted for Democrat, if they have told the Veteran Society, the VA, hey, by the way, you can refuse service to any veteran that has voted for the Democrats.
It's crazy. It's crazy. That's what the Grim Reaper thing that they're putting out there is this real. There is an all-out assault on democracy, on democratic thinking, on liberal-minded thinking. And that's more than half the country. It's about 60% of the country when you factor in the soft independence. It leads us into the number 4 story. FBI Director Kash Patel has fired an agent trainee for displaying a gay pride flag on his desk at a California field office, with the official termination letter citing poor judgment and an inappropriate display of political signage. Now, this was before Kash Patel was the FBI director. This was during the Biden administration. This had nothing to do with what was going on during the Trump administration. The guy does not have that pride flag on his desk right now. The trainee was serving at the FBI Academy in Quantico when the dismissal was issued, and Patel invoked the president's Article 2 powers as constitutional justification for the firing. The agent had previously served in a diversity role and received commendations, but the firing is part of Patel's broader crackdown on what the administration calls woke ideology in federal agencies, with multiple lawsuits now filed alleging politically motivated discrimination. Yeah, clearly, this is politically motivated discrimination. The thing is, it's so widespread.
It's more of the same. You're talking about Kash Patel. You're talking about a dude that is not just lied under oath vociferously, was caught lying under oath vociferously. This is the same guy that made millions pretending the Epstein files are real, which they are. And then the second he became the FBI director, he was like, no, they're not real. Forget it. Yeah, he is a sycophant. Cash Patel is a garbage fucking human being who will suck the chrome off of Donald Trump's fucking bumper to keep a job and to be somebody that he's always wanted to be, that in no way, shape, or form is Cash Patel ever going to be qualified to do or be. So, I saw something that Cash Patel put out today too. I don't know if you've seen it, but he's handing out these coins
Yeah.
to members of the FBI. I'm going to get a picture of it here, and I'll show it to you. And these coins are fucking wild to me. Like I have never in my life seen a group of supposed professional politicians, human beings, whatever. I have never in my life seen a bigger bunch of fucking self-aggrandizing children in my fucking life. Here's the picture. I'll show it to you. This is wild. Here you go. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see those?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's
Hang on.
crazy.
So these are like coins or pins, and you put those in your pocket. And I'll just read to you. It's got his logo on the front of them, $SH. You see that, the dollar sign? Money, money, money.
I can read that, but yeah,
FBI.
I've seen the coins. I've seen,
And then on the back
that's
of the
his
coin,
brand.
yeah, it's got the logo of the Department of the fucking Federal Bureau of Investigations. Underneath it, it says, presented by the director of the FBI, Cash Patel. Underneath that, it's got a fucking Tommy gun, and then his signature and the number 9. Apparently,
There's spiders crawling out of the eyes or something.
Yeah, there's spiders crawl in the eyes where the pupils are supposed to be, and underneath where the teeth are, it's a Punisher logo with a couple of old school dramatic Western guns. Ladies and gentlemen, you want ominous, you want childish, you want unqualified. Go to deanblundell.substack.com and check out those fucking coins that Cash Patel is putting out. He is not a serious individual.
No, he's also hawking his product. That is a brand. You can't actually do that in that position. I mean, that K $SH is his brand. Yeah, that's a violation of the Hatch law. I mean, there's absolutely no ways the FBI director could be going out there hawking his stuff to people.
He's got the seal of the Department of the FBI on the back of it.
That is astonishing. It's astonishing, and also the mind that would create that design is beyond belief. I mean, it's like a prepubescent boy that would come up with something like that, like a child who's thinking, "Oh, let me make this look really rad,"
Yeah, who he got like Canva out, and he started like creating this thing, and he was sitting back having a Dr. Pepper, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this looks fucking so cool. Looks so cool." You know what it looks like? I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like these Nazi skulls, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh wow,
that's what it looks like. There's a purpose to this, ladies and gentlemen. There is a purpose to this.
There you go. Cash K $SH. That's the FBI director.
Fucking loser. If I saw that guy in a bar in Toronto, I would walk up to him and fold him in half at my own.
No, we can't say any such things about people. But I got to say, this attack on this trainee. I mean, the FBI has a lot of LGBTQ people in it. They do the gay pride parade every year, if I'm not mistaken, in New York. There's a lot of very proud gay people who work in the FBI who do a great service to America and always have. And not to mention that J. Edgar Hoover would be, rolling over in his grave considering his own personal proclivities. But the fact that this guy is firing people for having a pride flag, which just a few years ago was considered like completely normal in any institution. There's not even an argument around whether gay or lesbian people would be discriminated against. Now, with this administration, 4 years on, we're back sending people into the closet and worse.
Yeah, military as well. FBI, CIA. Knives are out if you're gay. Knives are out if you have same-sex relations or ever had or admitted to it, or if you've ever been on an app. Heads up, everybody, they're coming for you. It doesn't matter if you had an experience, multiple experiences, does not matter. If you work for the federal government of the United States of America with this government shutdown, and you happen to be gay, or you happen to be bisexual, or you happen to be adventurous, or you happen to like group sex with men and women, you are in trouble, ladies and gentlemen.
It's remarkable, really, that what they've done, and they've done it in such a short amount of time. There is
Well,
some
yeah,
good
because
news.
they're all fucking perverts and pedophiles, right?
Yes, of course. They're worse off. It's just projection in some ways, but different.
Yep.
There's the number 3 story is some good news, and we should have some good news. And then I want to talk about Canada as well.
Okay.
Democrat Abigail Spanberger holds a commanding 12-point lead over Republican Winston Earl Sears in Virginia's governor's race, with the economy emerging as voters' top concerns and Trump's policies weighing heavily on the outcome. Spanberger is winning independent voters by 27 points while running on a centrist platform, while Earl Sears has aligned herself closely with Trump administration policies that a majority of Virginian voters oppose, including 59% opposing tariffs and 56% opposing cuts to federal jobs. That's a good sign. This is a bellwether kind of election. It's one of those elections that really is an indicator of what's to come. I remember this time last time we had a turn of administrations in the White House, we flipped to a Republican governor, and that was a good bellwether that Trump was going to win. This is not looking good for the Republicans, and all indications are that the GOP's ratings across the board in every sector, in every part of the country, are tanking.
Why do you think he's sending the military into different cities right now? Why do you think he's ramping that up? Why do you think he asked for help from the military? If it wasn't Ms. Grijalva's unbelievable win in Arizona, it's Spanberger's impending win. We have seen nothing but a blue wave wherever there was a special election that had to pop up. It's all we've seen. America's awake. America needs to vote in 2026. And you can't count on, picking off a seat here, picking off a seat there. If Americans don't vote in 2026, what Trump is showing you today, what he is doing today, will become codified law tomorrow. And he's not leaving in 2028. So, yes, it's encouraging, and yes, it's a bellwether, but in no way, shape, or form are we out of the woods if Ms. Spanberger wins. In no way, shape, or form is that 218th signature that's coming in from Arizona for the Epstein files, who's not been sworn in yet by Grinder Mike Johnson. Sorry, it's just never going to not be Grinder Mike Johnson from now on. I don't even care if the guy making it up is making it up. Hopefully he's telling the truth. But you know what? This is all hands on deck for Donald Trump. And I read an article yesterday or today that talked about how panic and manic and desperate he is because everybody around him is starting to tell him the truth about his future. If everything on the up and up is what it is, he's going to get fucking crushed in 2026.
You really do get that sense. I mean, he looked panicked the other day. There was a really different demeanor from him during that address to the military generals. But all their actions are completely desperate. I mean, they seem to be throwing everything they can at this, but it's not. They don't seem to have the
defunding New York, Chicago, and Portland.
Yeah, well, how's that going to make any sense? How's that helpful to you at the end of the day? Firing 200,000 people, adding 200,000 people to the unemployment rolls. Is that good for the economy? Is that good for him in any way? How does that even help you? And these are red states, too, that are going to be affected by Medicare and Medicaid cuts that are going to be very deep, especially in those parts of the world. There's no sense to any of this making any sense politically. It's just that he wants complete pandemonium, control, and chaos.
Which is the only way he's going to be able to engineer or rig some type of outcome that benefits him in 2026. Listen, that's the goal, right? Yeah. We've talked about this several times. He is so underwater. He is so hated in the United States of America. MAGA is fractured. He continually loses in court. He continually gets shown up by California. You've got governors in Chicago, New York, Westmore and Baltimore, and now Portland. They're taking him to court, and he continually loses. Yes, he wins sometimes on fake merit through the odd SCOTUS decision. But if you're going to take anything out of this today, is take this as comfort. is that not only is he underwater according to every metric available, he is on the fucking run, and he's trying to, when you run and you're trying to get away from somebody and you knock down like a bookcase or you'll throw something in behind you. So that's all this is. This is Donald Trump literally running for his legal and political life between trying to dodge the Epstein files. He's trying to dodge his approval rating, and he's trying to do everything he can from blow up another boat in Venezuela. He did that again this morning. He and Pete
That's number
Hegseth,
two story, actually.
to defunding 3 or 4 unbelievably great American cities in the middle of infrastructure rebuilds that need that money, to literally sending in the military, to funding $150 billion SS group of fucking ice goons to go and drag people out of their homes. And today, Freaky Friday, this is the operation today, to literally target kids under the age of 14, send them home with a letter saying, if your parents don't come down, we're going to get you and your parents. No one's going to see each other again. That is what is going on in the United States of America. So you want to talk about fucking desperation, ladies and gentlemen? If you don't think that this man isn't shitting his fucking political pants at the moment, everything suggests that he is.
I know this fits into his character, right? This is where he's operated throughout his life. When he was bankrupt, he sort of put on this big bravado, this big show, pretended nothing was going on. And yet, that was fine if you're in business. That's not fine when you're in government. And people are beginning to see the cracks. The support is winnowing away. And, 25% is the number that Nixon reached before he was, removed from government. And I think that's basically where he's staring at right now. He's seeing the trend lines. As those trend lines keep declining, if he hits anywhere close to 25%, he has no mandate, and he knows that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, all these distractions, they're actually good news stories. It means MAGA world is shitting themselves at the moment.
Yeah, though we're not out of any trouble yet. Number 2, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced Friday that the U.S. Military forces conducted another deadly strike on an alleged drug boat near Venezuela, killing 4 people in what he called operations under President Trump's orders, bringing the death toll to 21 people across at least 4 vessels since the campaign began. Hegseth provided no evidence beyond claiming the intelligence community identified them without a doubt, presented no proof of drug involvement, and offered no legal justification for these extrajudicial killings in international waters. Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro has accused the United States of using these operations as cover for plans to invade and oust him from power. That may be, but this is ridiculous that 21 people are being killed by the United States in international waters for no real discernible reason. I mean, these are just, we don't have a clue what was on these boats.
No, they're just, listen, guys, Trump and the Trump regime of pathological liars just want you to take his word for it.
Yeah.
Pete Hegseth, drunk fucks, we can answer. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Well, show us no doubt. Show us no doubt of all 4 boats you blew up for no fucking reason. I was watching Waj yesterday with lovely lady. She's a historian, Letters from an American. I can't remember. Her name escapes me right now. Fill in, folks, if you can, in the chat. And it's Grijalva. Yes, absolutely. I apologize. Adelita Grijalva is how you say her name. My bad. But Letters from an American.
You're talking about, I'm blanking out too. Heather Cox Richardson. Heather Cox Richardson.
Yes. She's incredible. And a historian. She's the biggest Substack account in the world. It's awesome. She's great. Everybody should subscribe to her. She is so good at breaking things down and giving context through history. And she's on with Waj, and they're talking about these Venezuelan, boat explosions in the middle of the ocean. And her husband is a sailor, and kind of downloaded, what the actual course of action is for the U.S. Coast Guard or military if indeed they encounter a drug boat. And every available metric said that every single time they've encountered a drug boat, the first thing that they do is they take out the motor, right? These are all outboard boats. Super easy. The motor's just sitting there. They're not going after the motor.
No.
They're blowing up the fucking boats. Right.
Yeah.
They're not looking for evidence.
No.
They just need the fucking visual. They need the catalyst of looking like they're taking care of fucking business. So what's 21 Venezuelan fishermen then? Nothing to them.
I don't care if this boat was carrying, according to Hegseth, substantial amounts of narcotics. I don't care
How do they?
about that.
Well, fucking show us.
Show us at least, to prove it. But even if you can prove it, this is no reason to be blowing people's lives up in the middle of the ocean, international waters. If you've got a problem with the drug trafficking, get to the drug trafficking problem and put these people behind bars. But assassinating people out of, out on a boat, we don't even clue. These could be fishermen. This could be people from different countries. We don't have anything about this. We don't even have names attached to the people that have died. These people are just being, gratuitously killed by the United States of all countries. The United States of America, the defender of humanity, is out there killing people without any proof of any crime whatsoever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those stories that if it was the only story that we were chasing around an inept and corrupt Trump regime, would be the biggest story in the world. But it's like story number 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Like it barely registered when Hegseth was like, yeah, we blew up another boat today. Fuck the drug runners. Everybody's like, yeah, you and your boat blowing up. But it's that big of a story. But because it sits in amongst several other stories that you just shake your head at in disbelief, whether it's, America as a police state or defunding certain cities or the Epstein files or the government shutdown. Unfortunately, it takes a back seat. But mark my words, anybody involved with this, if they get the House and the Senate back in 2026, and Eric Swalwell kind of said this to Brendan Carr the other day, get a fucking lawyer. If you're in that chain of command and you push that button, get a fucking lawyer. If you're in the military and you helped kill those people, get a fucking lawyer. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's becoming very clear to a lot of the rank and file and why so many people are considering leaving the military, which of course is not what we wanted this time. But there is, if you're faced with this kind of decision where you're a pilot told to take out somebody's life with no real reason based on Donald Trump's orders, you're committing a major crime. Your job is actually to say, I can't do this. Find somebody else to go and shoot this guy out of this boat out of the water. Now they're not doing that, and that is a bit worrying that that's not happening. That there's no pushback internally that we can tell that these, and who is giving this final order? Is it really coming from Donald Trump? Because Hegseth seems to be pointing that it's coming directly from Trump.
Well, I don't know. We haven't seen Trump since Tuesday.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that sickly fuck since Tuesday. So who knows? I mean, you just see Hegseth grandstanding. And by the way, Hegseth heard today that he is on his way OUT in the next 2 weeks as well. So maybe this is the kind of thing that Trump can go, oh, yeah, when they find out, let's say they find out that these are fishing boats and these extrajudicial killings were completely illegal and none of these people had drugs on them and they were just blowing up boats for the fun of it to make everybody think that they were fucking cool and they were coming after you, FAFO, that kind of shit, is that Donald Trump, it is not beyond him, if indeed that we get that information in the coming days or weeks, it's not beyond him to point at Pete Hegseth and go, I didn't know anything about it. He did it, right? I don't know.
Also, we're not at war. I mean, he claims we're at war with these narcotics cartels, but we're not actually at war. No one's declared a war, and you can't just make it up. You can't just go like, oh yeah, we killed him because it was a war. There is no war. There might be an attempt to, the drug flow, stem the drug flow from coming into America, but that's a different situation than blowing people out of the.
Yeah, but he said there is a war. Like
he says there's a war, but we don't actually have a war.
Keep in mind, I know, but keep in mind, this is the same guy that said he can look at boxes of classified information and they just become declassified. So, hey, maybe it's the same thinking. I'm thinking there's a war, therefore there's a war.
The one thing he can't escape, because it still keeps coming up, and I don't know what Lutnick was thinking when he did this, is the Epstein files. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is number one, made bombshell allegations about his former neighbor Jeffrey Epstein on a podcast Wednesday, claiming Epstein was the greatest blackmailer ever, who videotaped sexual abuse in a dedicated massage room and used the footage to blackmail high-profile associates. Lutnick theorized that Epstein traded the incriminating videos to secure his 2008 plea deal. And Rep. Robert Garcia now says the House Oversight Committee needs Lutnick to testify immediately because his claims directly contradict FBI Director Kash Patel's assertion last month that there was no credible information suggesting Epstein trafficked victims to other people. Garcia told CNN he would 100% support a subpoena for Lutnick. What was that?
Howard. sits down with Pod Force One.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. If you go to
I've seen it.
deanblundell.substack.com, I've got two really relevant clips. One's a minute 36, the other's 2:24. So real quick watch. The most damaging aspects of the podcast interview with his real estate buddy from New York, Howard Lutnick, turned Commerce Secretary, who's been talking about tariffs and how great they are. Meanwhile, America's going broke quickly, vastly, and will continue to, because Howard Lutnick is just a scammer like everybody else in the Trump regime. He goes on Pod Force One, and she's like, "So tell us about the Epstein files." And she's like, "You knew Jeffrey Epstein?" He's like, "Yeah, I knew him. He's a total creep. He's gross." Kept calling, "He's gross." I lived at number 9. He lived at number 11, and we walked 8 steps over and had coffee with him. He takes me into this room, and behind this door, there's this massage chair with cameras everywhere. And he says, "I get massages every day. The right kind of massage," he says. And then he goes on and on and on, completely contradicting everything Kash Patel said under oath, everything Donald Trump has said, everything the DOJ has said, and effectively threw Trump under the bus with both hands. Also, Bill Gates, when he's like, "Yeah, anybody involved in that with Jeffrey Epstein was involved in the pedophile ring," effectively is exactly what he said. Like, exactly. Not only did he not absolve Donald Trump, he effectively said, "Yeah, Trump's as guilty as fuck."
He incriminated the president in this whole thing, which we've known all along. But I don't know what he's doing. He's either just at a very late stage trying to protect himself by saying, "Hey, here we go. This is what it's all about," and knowing that the powers that be are going to encroach on
that is all this was. Because do you remember when Ghislaine Maxwell was like, "Yeah, you even have some pedophiles in Donald Trump's cabinet." Remember that? Remember that little thing? And then all of a sudden, Howard Lutnick, no courage and profile, he goes out there and does this interview on Pod Force One. He's like, "It ain't me."
It wasn't me. Meanwhile, guy lived next door to Jeffrey Epstein for 21 years.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And this, keep in mind, he said this meeting happened right after he met him, and he hasn't said anything till now?
Yeah. He knew this operation was going on, obviously, because he was so gross and so creepy. He knows all the players involved. It's not like he just met Donald Trump a few weeks ago. He met him a long time ago. He knew all these people a long time ago. He was the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald. He was part of the network that benefited certainly from the blackmail. So he certainly was aware of what was going on next door. Maybe he chose not to participate, but that kind of proximity is very, very close.
I mean, they're joining. You know, the great part was that he threw his wife under the bus too. He goes, "We walked out and my wife's like, 'He's gross. You're never going back there again.' And I never went back there again." I'm like, "Dude, you lived like literally right next door to him. I can guarantee you went back there again." And I can guarantee you saw adjoining backyards, dude. They had an adjoining fucking wall.
Yeah.
Like you saw shit, and now you're like, "Yeah, he's gross. He's gross." Dude, you knew about it. You all knew about it.
I don't know why I think this, but I think there is some sort of connection on the upper levels of that house.
Well, like a door to Narnia.
Yeah,
Narnia.
I don't know why I think that, but I just think it. It seems to me that, because I've looked at this, I've spent a lot of time thinking about Epstein, and I've looked at the property from above, and I've looked at it from, 3D.
Oh, you poor soul.
And I'm like, this just doesn't feel right that Lutnick was right there next door. So, I mean, what was, maybe he wasn't officially going over, but, these guys are both corrupt people. These are very, very corrupt people. Cantor Fitzgerald, you think about, the 9/11, it's very, very unusual what happened there. So for him to be saying, that guy's gross, and when he's part of the very network, might mean that, these things are going to come out. And I hope they do. I think the Epstein files have been, they're in a safe place. I think that they're probably doing the rounds not doing the rounds. They're probably being protected by another entity within the U.S. Government right now.
ICE. Probably ICE.
No, not ICE.
Really?
Not ICE.
You know something and you're not saying it. You keep doing this to me on this Substack Live.
It just seems to me that whatever's inside the FBI files around Jeffrey Epstein is so profound, it's so big, it reveals, as I've done on The Greatest Heist, some of it, I haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet, that there is so much corruption and crime, and we're talking trillions and trillions of dollars that have been stolen from the American people. And in those files, there must be a very detailed network that they can expose through that network, which should include Howard Lutnick, but a whole bunch of other really well-known people.
I'm just fascinated with this door to Narnia that might have been in
but
Lutnick's
doesn't it make
place.
sense? I mean, they're both in the
door to
same network.
pedophile Narnia.
They happen to live next door to each other.
Yeah.
You know, they're both
For 20 years.
21 years. Yeah, like it's crazy. It's very unusual to have that kind of closeness and never visit your neighbor. You never visited your neighbor.
Although I will say this. Yeah, I will say this. I shared a wall with my former neighbors before moving recently, and I never once went in their place. And when they would come home, I'd run in the house. And when I would come home, they'd run in the house.
Yeah,
so there's a chance. But listen, I didn't swing in the same fucking exact same circles as my neighbors. Right.
Also, every famous person in the world is next door on different occasions. You know, you're not going to go and sort of say hello to Bill Gates just because it's a useful, networking
hey, honey,
experience.
Prince Andrew just walked into Jeff's place.
Yeah, I won't go there. I won't go say hello. Because Donald Trump's in there all the time. Anyhow, that is the countdown for today. Some big news in Canada because there's new talks between Carney and coming next week.
Yeah, for everybody interested, I'll have a piece. I think I actually put up a piece about it today, so you can kind of go read about it. The deal is no deal. The deal is no deal. We currently do not, one of very few countries that have told Donald Trump to shove it, and we do not have a trade or tariff deal where we have a tariff floor like everybody else that has been extorted by him. Poor EU, like poor UK. Give us a couple $100 billion and we'll set your tariff floor at 10 to 15%. We don't have that here. 85% of everything we trade with the United States is free and clear. 15% is taxed or tariffed. Softwood lumber, aluminum, da-da-da-da-da-da. So there's this argument now that we don't have a deal with the United States of America. That's the whole fucking point, friends. And this next week, I believe Wednesday, Carney and his team are going to fly down and have a private meeting. I don't know that it's going to be a public meeting, but if I know Trump, and I'm hearing that Trump is too unwell for public meetings, he's had to cancel a few of them. Yeah. So who knows? But this is also the beginning or the kickoff of the USMCA renegotiation agreement. CUSMA, it's our free trade agreement that we have with Canada, the United States, and Mexico. We grease the tracks with Mexico. We've got a great deal with them. We're going around the United States. Now we're deciding how much business will we do with the United States of America. And that's why we don't have a trade or tariff deal, because this will be brand new. So, yeah, Mark Carney's going to go there and he's going to side hand Donald Trump and say, oh, thanks for creating the environment that you've created that's allowing Canada to flourish. Really appreciate it. Everybody's going to go, oh, he's totally capitulating. And then I'm going to sit there and laugh like I did last time because Mark Carney owns Donald Trump's soul because he's a serious fucking dude.
No, in fairness, the tariffs have had an impact on the Canadian economy, obviously, and also on the American economy, but they have significant impacts on the Canadian economy. And and Carney's doing his best to keep up with all of that. But it is, there's a serious concern around the auto sector, the serious concern around the steel sector. Like things are not, not cushy over here.
He just taxed another 10% on top of softwood lumber tariffs, right? So BC is very angry today, and they should be. So let's see if Mark Carney can go work his magic with the rapist/felon in chief on Wednesday. Keep your eyes out, ladies and gentlemen.
That is deanblundell.substack.com, where you can read all these stories with a keen focus on what's going on in Canada and Canadian politics. You still have your 50% off sale, and that's going on for anyone who wants to sign up for an annual subscription. What else you got going on in your very, very busy schedule? Because I see you all the time, Dean. You're everywhere all the time.
I appreciate it. No, the FiveStack, which I just started talking about on Twitter, you can join me there as well, even though it's a cesspool. I'm not there that much. Also did a great hour this week with Steve Schmidt from The Warning. Everybody should go watch it. Steve started this new organization called the Save America Movement, which I am very keen on getting involved with. We're having some conversations because I think it's in Canada's best interest for America to be saved. And you're seeing hundreds of thousands of people join this movement. Reverend Bishop Barber is part of the movement. Steve's part of the movement. There are several others we're going to start talking about a little bit more. But Steve really shed some light on the generals meeting and how poorly it went. And then we also mocked the Mike Johnson grinder stuff. So have some fun with that. Check it out. You can go and see everything that we do. DeanBlundell.substack.com, including the FiveStack, including all the stories that we talked about today as well. Just grateful that you're all part of this community. Share, subscribe, whatever you can do goes a long way. And you have amazed me. And so we're going to make sure that we keep that 50% off annual subscriptions all the way through to the end of October, because it's our way of saying thank you to you, because it keeps us moving, keeps us going, and it keeps us incredibly motivated. Sharing is caring above all. So please share this with as many people as humanly possible. We'd really appreciate that. And that is my friend Zev Zev Parnas.
We paid $1
Zev Shalev
for that.
Narrative.org, where he takes these big, giant, deep dives and gives you context like nobody has. What do you have that we can consume at narrative.org today, my friend?
I spent a lot of time looking at the shutdown and the legalities of the shutdown and crunching the numbers and what it really means. You can find that at narrative.org right now. There's it's a conspiracy as far as I can tell. It's an unusual conspiracy because it's happening in politics, it's happening in real time, but it still is a criminal conspiracy. And I think there's lots of crime going on, and I hope the people involved realize that. I mean, they're involved in committing a major, major crime against the American people. I also help people who might be going through this, who might be furloughed, might be fired, give them some steps to think about before doing anything. And also the goal of all of this is about traumatizing American federal workers, but absolutely traumatizing. That's the words from Voight. So I think everyone needs to just steel themselves. This stuff is going to happen. But also, we need to have complete resolve, because at the end of the day, these are illegal acts. They're criminal acts. Justice will catch up with these people at the end of the day. And I have a quote here from Thomas Paine at the end of the piece. I'm just going to, maybe it's needed today after all that, after we started off with that, mental chaos and nervousness that everyone has. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have the consolation with us that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. I think we're all sort of in that mindset. That's Thomas Paine from The American Crisis, 1776. It's probably a good place to end the show.
Yeah. If I can, I'll add another one on top of that. The great Will Ferrell in Talladega Nights once said, "I'm too drunk to taste this chicken."
Brilliant. I love that.
Have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend. Yeah. Clear your minds. Get off the internet. Come and join us back here on Monday. Check out some of the stuff we do here throughout the weekend, but go and be with your families. Go and restore, regenerate. Yeah, what's that? What?
One more thing. Tuesday, I'm doing a special on Tuesday evening where we're going to do the greatest heist in a conversation form, which is going to explain to everyone what chapters 1 to 10 were. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a break because I need to figure out some stuff. And then I'll be back with part 2 of the greatest heist. But it'll be for those people who have had any questions around the greatest heist or have any issue, anything they want to point out or any conversation around it. Tuesday night, I'm going to do a special on narrative.org. So I hope people can join me for that.
Awesome. I will be there. Thank you very much, my dear friend. Have a great weekend. Thank you all for joining us today. Take care of each other, and we'll see you on Monday.
Cheers. Bye. Have a good one.